Hey everyone, Colin Wilcox, Extraordinary Concepts. You got to put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. And we're going over the Guest Journey Audit. This video we're going to be talking about arrival and exterior. So last video we talked about the just before you actually get to the to the restaurant, and sort of just the we called it the pre-arrival, and this one is actually arriving. So let's go through this audit. This one should take be relatively quick, but it's very important. All of them are important, and they're in this order. So these are touching points. Now the guest is decided to come to your restaurant from the last video. They're heading, and now they're driving to your restaurant. And trust me, the driving can kind of put them into a mood that may affect their decision to go into your restaurant. It may affect their personality as they go in the restaurant. If they're stuck in traffic, if it's hard to get to, if it's just twists and turns and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately, it's going to affect the guest experience because they're experiencing this as they want to go to your restaurant. No fault of yours, but you got to put that, you got to play that into into this effect if you want. Anyway, I don't know what that just said. Anyway, so what is your guest experience finding parking? So when they get to your establishment, do they find parking? Is the parking easy? Is it well lit? Is it clean? Is it safe, and so on? So that can be a very important part of their experience. And again, could be something that you are responsible for. If you have a parking lot, you want it to be clean, you want it to be well lit, you want it to be the lines to be nice and clean, all that kind of stuff. That's all part of the guest experience. But if you don't have control of that, like it is like a city and you have on-street parking or they have parking garages and so on, you don't have control of that. You might try to do things, you might, if somebody pays for parking, you might, offer them a discount on their parking ticket or whatever the case is. But other than that, you've got to, you're going to calculate the mood when they actually try to find a parking spot. Some places, unfortunately, like, oh yeah, I just can't find parking, I'm not going to go. And that might be the situation here. They might actually decide to go, realize there's no parking, and then just take off or go to another restaurant. Say they're parking on a main street and there's all metered parking, and they park across the street from another restaurant because that's the only spot. They might go into that other restaurant and not yours. So that's an important one. So that's a 1 through 10. You want to sort of see where you are on that. How did the outside of the restaurant look when you arrived? So this is a really important one. They're all important. I'm going to continue to say they're all important, but this one here is like you're going to walk the streets, you're going to walk Main Street, you're going to drive to the restaurant. And there's going to be certain environments around you. When you get to your restaurant, what does that say? Is there flowers outside? Are there balloons outside? Is it clean? Is it swept? And what kind of emotional experience do they have just seeing a restaurant and arriving at the space? Are they excited about going in, or is this like, I'm not sure, I want to go in. This looks like a dump. Those are experiences that's going to go through their head. These are all touching points that a guest is going to have, and you need to sort of audit it continuously, and see how you are doing with these touching points. Let's see. What did you notice about the smells outside? So what does the guest notice about the smells outside of the restaurant? So I've had a couple restaurants, and the restaurants I actually pumped, the smoke outside. So when we were cooking ribs and barbecue, they'd smell it when they come up, and it's just like, oh man, it just like made them hungry. They just felt the environment outside. It was wonderful. And then I have music playing on the outside so they can get the environment before they actually get in. Texas Roadhouse does a pretty good job of this. It's very clean. They got the environment. They got like stone mulch, and they got music going on. So before you actually enter the establishment, you feel the environment before you get in there. Very important. In this, well, of course, you got to be careful with the town. If the town makes the music too loud, you don't want it to be blaring. You just want to feel an environment, feel some emotions before you actually get in. And smells are a very important one. So sight, sound, smells, all those things are very important if you can get that accomplished. How did the lighting feel as you approach the entrance? So if it's dark or whatever, if it's dark and you don't feel safe, you want to make sure you can walk and all that. But you also high up lights and highlights the building. Like the building, it could look beautiful with the right up landscape lighting and so on. So the experience, like I said, it doesn't start from the inside, doesn't start from when they hit the table. It starts when they're thinking about your space. And so you got to really pay attention to all these touching points that a guest goes through for deciding, let's go, to going to bed, pretty much. And even if you can get them up in the morning with a nice little piece of bread that you, or a donut or something like that you gave them, then they're still on your mind. But anyway, I don't want to get too off track here. So the lighting, making sure that that's beautiful. Let's see what else we got. What was the feeling when you first stepped in the door? So is another thing. And in the door, sometimes like you'll see chain restaurants actually like a Chili's will have a Chili's doorknob. That's an example of environment, an example of an experience before you actually get in. I'm sure when just me mentioning that, you guys are like, oh yeah, they do have a Chili's doorknob. So that's just showing them details, selfless details. They're trying to give the experience from there on in. You don't need a Chili's doorknob for your restaurant, but you do need to know, the door opens well, it's clean, it's not filthy, there's not stickers all over the thing. And then as soon as you enter the door, what's the first thing you see? Who do you see? What's the hostess? And that's your like ta-da moment, when you're unveiling your environment and the experience that you're going to be giving to the guests. So this video is arrival and exterior. I will see you guys at the next video. My name is Colin Wilcox with Extraordinary Concepts. You have to put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. And we're going to continue down this guest journey audit. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.